Back in the 90s, this was the most lusted after controller for the Super Famicom. The JB King from Harlequin. Let's check it out. So yes, as mentioned, this was the joystick that everybody lusted after, especially those into Japanese imports in 1991. This is the JB King for the Super Famicom from Harlequin. It was released in 1991 for the price of 9,500 yen, which was quite a lot of money back in the day. Now, as you can see from the back, it has an awful lot going on. It's really busy, including this little port here, which we'll take a look at in a moment. But how about doing an unboxing? This is in mint condition. It's not new. I've used this a lot over the years. But as you know, I take care of my stuff, and this is still in great looking condition. So let's open it up as if we were opening it back in 1991. The first thing we see when we open the top of the box are the Harlequin logo and the JB King logo. And what's kind of interesting is that Harlequin, better known as HAL Laboratories these days, were actually going bankrupt just after this was released. And Nintendo bailed them out, which is why you see a lot of HAL games on Nintendo systems. They were always close to Nintendo anyway, but if it wasn't for Nintendo bailing them out, this company would no longer exist and would have no Kirby. So let's take a look at the actual item. As you can see, the styrofoam inside is still in lovely condition. And we still have the manual as well. So taking a look at the manual, you can see unfortunately it's got a little bit of mold on it. That happens when you live in Japan, a very humid country. We've got the License by Nintendo sticker there. And on the back we have the registration and also how to use it. The manual opens up into a poster style manual. And here we go through all the different options which you can do with the stick. And on the back we have a repeat of what's on the back of the box. Oops, it's upside down. I forgot it opens the other way around. Alright, let's turn that around. Here we go. There it is. Oh, I can still smell it. It still smells a bit weird. Looks like it's got a bit patchy there. Oh, it's got a bit patchy over the years. Okay, let's get out the styrofoam. Hopefully the styrofoam hasn't melted to the stick. And here it is in all its beauty. Now you may be thinking that this silky bit on the top here and the silky bit around the buttons has gone a bit matted. Well, no it hasn't. This still has the actual plastic protection layer on it. You can see here, just if I lift it up a little bit, you can see the plastic protection is still on here. This is as new as you can get. Now, maybe in the future I will take that off, I don't know, but yeah, it's just so nice. So before we get into it, let's jump into the big question. What is this for? Well, let's open up the compartment with a coin. On the back of the box and in the manual, it states that this is an expansion port for future updates. It doesn't say what those updates will be, what format they'll be in, or anything. It just says an expansion port for future updates. But if we look here, we have a PCB, and on the bottom of that PCB there are some connections. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer in there. So here you can see the connections on the bottom of the PCB. So obviously something was going to interface with this, some sort of adapter, who knows. History tells us that there is no adapters made. No matter how much searching we do on the Japanese net, there is absolutely nothing that mentions about adapters. So maybe they never got around to thinking of what to put in there. Who knows? So since nothing was ever made to go into this slot, it's completely redundant. Luckily we can just cover it up with the expansion port cover. If we can get it back on, it is a little bit tricky at times. There we go. And keep that port nice and clean for the future. Who knows, maybe somebody will make something for it. I doubt it. Now another unique feature about this controller, which was honestly not that unique because a couple of Micom soft controllers also had the same feature. You are able to rotate the main button layout to suit your needs. So you can have it slightly tilted like this. Maybe you prefer to have the buttons horizontally orientated, or maybe a game cannot reconfigure the buttons, so you just spin them around and have the buttons where you want them to be. As I say, this is not really such a unique feature because a couple of Micom soft controllers also do that. Now the buttons themselves are actually micro switched. They have a nice clicky sound to them. Take a listen. So they're not rubber dome buttons, so you do get nice clicky arcade style buttons. The same can be said for the L and R triggers, which to be honest are in really silly positions. The joystick itself, as to be expected, is also micro switched. 8-way controller there. It has an 8-way gate on it as well. Yeah, 8-way gate, we can feel that. Start and select button also seem to be micro switched. They have a nice clicky feel to them as well, as do these buttons. Every single button on this is micro switched. Now you may be wondering, what are these little dials here? Well, what we have here are rapid fire dials. So you can dial in the speed of your rapid fire individually for every single button. And it's easy to see which is for which because they're color coded. Red for red, yellow for yellow, blue for blue, green for green. And L and R triggers have their own buttons over here. Now we also have this button here. Now this is the selector button to give each button 2 individual functions. Now how exactly that works, I don't know. I've read through the instructions and I just can't figure it out. But apparently using this button you can assign 2 different functions to 1 key. Let's take a look at it on the TV. Okay, taking another look in the instructions, I've kind of figured out how to do some of the programming on this stick, although I still can't figure out how to map 2 functions to 1 button. But I have figured out how to remap the buttons. Okay, so as you can see at the moment, pushing left and right moves our Turrican guy there. And we've got B as jump and Y as fire, okay? Now, say we want to map Y as jump. Well, it's very simple. What you do is you hold down the set button there and you can see the little green LED has lit up. Moving the joystick now highlights the different LEDs. So let's set jump to the Y button. And what you do is you now press the button you want to assign to this button that's lit up. So I press B now and then press the set button. We should have 2 jumps. So B should be jump as it was and Y is now also jump. So that's how you remap buttons. Now I'm wondering if I can map another button to Y. So press down the select again. And unfortunately, it skips Y. See that? So it goes A, B, X, and then instead of Y, it goes back to B because Y is now mapped as B. So I wonder if I press X, will it map X and B together? And let's press select and see what happens. No, it's basically moved the X button over to Y now. B is still B. Yeah. So I know how to combine or how to remap the buttons, but how to configure 2 moves to 1 button, I have no idea. It just doesn't make sense from the instructions. Now you can clear all your settings by holding down the select button here for about 5 seconds. There you go, all the lights have lit up green and we should now be back to normal. Yeah. Okay, So while I'm here, let me show you the rapid fire option. So holding down the Y button there, and as you can see, as we move this, nothing happens because it's not switched on. But hitting this blue button will switch on the rapid fire option. As you can see, the little red LED there is flashing away, and the more I move this, the more frequent the firing becomes. Now that's pretty cool. And of course you can just switch it off back to standard. This game has rapid fire anyway, so that's the standard rapid fire. And now we can have crazy rapid fire, or if we really wanted, knock it down to a slow rate like that. And we can just switch it off like that. But you can do it for any button, of course. So for example, there's jump. You just hold down the button, it jumps once. See? But we switch on the rapid fire. Oops, not for A, for B. Now he'll just keep jumping, but we can speed that up. There you go. Now he's doing lots of little jumps. So that's how the rapid fire option works. Same thing goes for the L and R triggers. You can map those as well. Unfortunately, in this game, they don't do much except move your little laser about. Now you may be wondering, can you configure a button press to a joystick movement? I don't know. Let's give that a try. So let's map Y to push him forward and see if we can move forward and shoot at the exact same time by just using the joystick. I don't think so, but we'll give it a try. Okay, so we'll move to Y, and I'm going to press Y. And then move the joystick. No, just moved it to L, didn't it? Yeah, I don't think we can do that. No, we can't. Alright, well that was something we had to try, wasn't it? So one thing we haven't done yet is taking a look at the bottom of this stick. What is actually on the bottom of it? Nothing at all. So we have a licensed by Nintendo sticker here, and a solid steel base, and these big, beefy, grippy plastic sections here. Very, very solid construction on this thing, and it does weigh quite a bit, but I wonder why. Does it have any weights inside it? Let's open it up and take a look. And with the magic of a jump cut, we've got all the screws out. Now I can see these little plastic tabs here, so I'm hoping they just see, they look a bit too big actually to fit through these little gaps here, and I don't think they come out. So let's just try and prise one out. No, they're kind of stuck in there, so they look too thick as well to slide through these gaps. So I'm wondering how this is going to work. Anyway, let's try and do these undo, screw out maybe? No, they don't. Now this one doesn't really matter because that's the expansion plate, so that's not holding the bottom on, but we'll take it off just in case. Okay, and let's see if we can we've got one screw left, forgot about that one. Okay, we've got that out. Let's see if we can get the bottom off. Oh, it comes up. Alright, so as we can clearly see, there are no weights on that. It's just one solid bit of steel. And it's got the number on there, 045465, if that means anything to anybody. That's one hefty bit of metal. And taking a look inside, we can see the actual PCB of the stick. And we have one chip on there as well. That's a Mitsubishi chip. And I'm sure someone's going to want to take a look at that, so I'll take a picture of it, put it on the screen right here. There's another little chip down there, so we'll put a picture of that one up there as well. And there you have it. So that is the actual joystick system. Now I'm sure you want to see what's on the other side of the board, right? Okay, let's get that one off. It's only held on by 2 screws by the looks of it. The actual base screws hold the rest of it in. Okay, let's gently take this up. Oh, it looks like it's held in. No. Oh, we've got to unclip this. Nope. Alright guys, it looks like it's held in by a couple of clips here. Yeah, there's a couple of clips attached to a knob. Hang on, see if we can undo those. Nope, that is not budging. Okay, I am not going to force that up because this is quite a unique joystick and I don't want to risk breaking it. But you can see the actual stick part here. Let me just take that little protection thing off. Oh, and my mistake. I said it had a circular gate on there, but it doesn't. It's got a square gate on it. Interesting. And let's get the phone and see if we can take a look at the button layout down there. And there you can see the button layout, where we can twist the different buttons around to suit our personal needs. So that's how they're connected. They're connected by ribbon cables which go straight to the main board. And a top tip if you're ever putting one of these back together, this little cylinder here is what covers the bottom of the joystick, stop gunk going into it. You'll see that it has a couple of straight pieces there and a little round circular bit there. They need to be located into the base in order for the stick to go back together correctly. So I would suggest lining those up first, which is easier said than done actually. There we go. So they are now in place, and then putting the stick onto the base this way. And that way you know everything is going to be nice and neat and tidy. So just clip that down into place. Keep it nice and tight so nothing moves about. There we go. Oh no, that has not, that's fell out a little bit. So as you can see, it's easier said than done. Let's see if we can move that up a bit more. Let's get this in place. Here we go. Nope, that fell out. I think we've got it. Yep, that's it. Yeah, we've got it. Okay. And let's get a screw in there. So we'll put a small screw in the bottom bit there. The longer screw goes here. And let's just get that locked down so it can't go wandering about. And there we have it. The Halaken JB King joystick. Arguably the most lusted after joystick for the Super Famicom back in the early 90s. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more great videos coming, and I'll see you next time. See ya!